Babes, it is a fun day in the indie community because we have a new Bella Beauté bar palette to talk about. This is on Cloud 9 and I don't know exact release date or pricing or anything like that, but I will put all the information in the description box. You can always find all the information there. My affiliate code Angelica does work at Bella Beauté bar and at, let's be honest, quite a few, if not most, indie brands because I am a big indie brand supporter. I love talking about indie brands, and this palette was sent to me early, so this was received in PR, but this video is not sponsored, and because of that I just don't know like release dates and pricing and all of that, but I will ask the owner and I will put it down below, honestly, just so I can have all the information for you. This is what it looks like. I love this row here. I love blue, so we're gonna do this one today, and I love blues that don't have any kind of warmth in them. This is a blue still to me, but it's like a turquoise, but overall this is like almost like a candy theme. It is not super pastel, it doesn't go super light, and it doesn't go super dark. We're gonna see if I feel like I need something to bring in something lighter, but I always try when I do like my first impressions and my looks, I always try to do it with the palette at hand. But I also want to show you if you feel like something is missing in a palette, or if you, because we all have our special way of how we like to do our makeup, and it's always nice to branch out as well, because maybe we'll discover a new way of doing our makeup. Like that's what happened to me when I switched from a shimmer inner corner to a matte inner corner. I feel like I was like, you know, the doors of heaven was opening to me, literally Cloud 9, and I was like, wow, this is so much more my style. So never be afraid to branch out and try new things, but also if you have something you really like, there's nothing wrong with staying true to that either. With that being said, I'm gonna do two looks today, and I'm gonna do one all blue look, and this one is like a blue to a purple duochrome. There might be some work going on here, but you have already seen the swatches. As I'm filming this, I just sat down and I was like, I'm gonna jump in, I'm gonna do something fun, and hopefully we will really like it. Usually I really love Bella Beauté bar's quality. Their mattes are incredible, and all their shimmers always swatch absolutely spectacular. Some of them might be a little bit too emollient for me and they will crease on me. If you have hooded eyes like I do, you might also experience creasing with some of the Bella Beauté bar shimmers. Some do, some don't. It's just, I have to try them to see which one they are. And also sometimes they end up being a little bit too flaky or textured, and that might also not be super flattering on a little bit more of a mature eyelid. I am 42, so sometimes the formulas, they swatch better than they look on the eyes, but I also know at some people that don't have that problem and they're like, no, all of them work perfectly on me. So I think that just depends on your preference and also how your eyelids are, because again, your face is your canvas and it is not going to work the same on everyone. So I'm only going to be using these three shades here. I'm going to start with the darkest, I'm going to continue with the lightest, and then we're going to end with the shimmer. Actually, I'm going to use, yeah, I might use another shimmer too. I might use like one of these like iridescent ones too. Okay, two shimmers. Should I do a, is that, okay, not making sense. I think I'll do a halo look for my second look. I think that could be really fun. Okay, we're starting out, no we're not, because I have a little bit of creasing in my primer. Make sure to smooth out your primer before you start, because nobody wants to set your primer when it's creasing. So I'm starting with the blue over here, and I'm gonna do what I like to call the blob, which is that I'm just doing, I'm not putting it in the crease. I'm just doing a blob in the outer corner and in the outer crease. Basically like this. Just to get a little bit of lift on my outer corner and to deepen this up. I'm basically gonna leave this like that. And then I'm doing the same on the other side. Personally, I prefer to have something that is a little bit darker than this in a palette, but that is just a personal preference. I'm gonna go in with a pinched fluffier brush. This is Cinch EO4, also from my brand, and this is gonna be the lighter shade. This one I'm putting in the crease. This is like, I wanna say like my signature look. Blob on the outside, a matte light color in the crease, and then just blending out with the light color here and creating a just darkness that goes slightly. This is the line we're moving in. I'm gonna reapply and blend a little bit more of the dark shade in here, just to make sure that this one really feels as deep as this palette allows us to. Okay, so I feel like it's somewhat blended, but I will say, I think the light blue has a lot of fallout, and they didn't like perfectly merge together. But again, blues can be so hard to make. That is definitely a fluff on my brush. Blues can be so hard to make. Really good matte blues. So I do think that they're good blues, but I've had better blues. But as you can see, this looks good. I'm doing the same under my eyes too. I'm putting the dark color a little bit further under my eyes, and then I'm just gonna blend it out with a lighter one. I'm gonna try and see if I can get some off, because like I said, this one definitely has a lot of fallout, both in the pan, and I also experienced some on my eyes, which I always get like comments like, how do you not get a lot of fallout when you're doing your makeup like this? And it's because I press my eyeshadows in and then I just kind of like dot blend. I don't swipe back and forth. I don't if I have a lot of color, I don't love how they blend together. Can you see? I think it's this light blue. This light blue, not my favorite light blue. It is, I think there is, I don't know, maybe there's too much binder in it. Maybe there's not enough binder in it. There's something about it that just, it kind of almost acts like a pastel that's got too much white in it, and it kind of blends away everything. Well, basically, why I don't get a lot of fallout is because I don't use, first of all, I use smaller brushes. Smaller brushes will help, I'm telling you that. The darker the color, the smaller the brush. And also, I press my color in, and I don't press it in. I don't set my eyeshadow base, which also make them stick better. And I don't do big swiping motions. I think those are the three biggest reasons why I don't get a lot of fallout. But with this light blue, I still did. So not a horrible color, but maybe not my favorite matte that I've ever tried from the brand, because again, I do think that this brand has overall amazing mattes. I'm gonna put this around my inner corner too. I might lighten this up with a little bit of like a white, because you can always mix in a white with the color to make it even lighter, and the same, you can mix in a little bit of black and layer to make it like darker. But I do think I want it to be a little brighter in there, but I mean, I don't hate it. I just feel like I have to finick a little bit with this light blue. But I mean, I think that this looks really good. Let's go in with the shimmer. Oh my God, I cannot. It's really hard when it's like this fine print and it's this like cursive. I actually cannot read what that says. I don't know what it's called. Head in the clouds. That was a struggle. Okay, this is definitely what I told you, that it's like a little bit too flaky. So in order for me to not get a lot of fallout and for it to stick to the lid, I am gonna spritz it. I'm just using this one from Little Cosmetics and SpongeBob collab, which I use all over my face as well. It's really warm and humid here in northern Italy right now, and it's been helping a lot. Ooh, I do like how it looks on the eyes. And again, I try to press it in so that the flakiness doesn't show on the lids. Okay, I like that a lot. I don't know if you can see, but like a big flake of that eyeshadow went loose and just ended up here. I tried to pick it up. You can see here, but it just kind of moved. And that's what I mean with like, sometimes they're a little bit flaky. Nothing you can't work with, but sometimes it's easier to show you than to tell you. Okay, I added a little bit more of the dark blue. I think that looks incredible. We're definitely gonna do a lighter one next to it. So this is where we are right now. And now I'm thinking, what do I wanna do? Do I wanna do this one? But it's a little bit too turquoise. Maybe this one that has a little bit more, you can see there's a little purple to this one. Okay, I think I'll do that one, and I will, since you can see, this one has a gradient. Some of these shades, I don't know if I told you in the beginning. Maybe I should have told you in the beginning. I think you can see a little bit here. They're either like striped or they have a gradient. This one has a gradient. It goes from a more lavender purple to a light blue. And I picked the color from the light blue side. Again, it does pick up a little bit. You can see a little flaky. So I'm definitely spritzing out. I always spritz my shades. It's very rare that I don't spritz my shades. I always do that, even with my own brand. I just think they go on better. They end up where I want them to be, so that they don't like just get all over my face. And it's also a way to get less fallout. That looks really cool. Okay, I really like how those work together. You can see there is a purple edge to this now. This definitely is a purple to a blue duochrome. Definitely got a little bit of fallout, which unfortunately did not brush off. That also happens when you have these like more flaky special shades that look really impressive on the lid, but you always end up getting a little bit of fallout. It's like a give and take, but this looks really, really good. Love that. Okay, we're definitely doing prance. Whoever thought we were not doing prance, you are not paying attention. Oh my god, that is not prance. Where are you, baby? Oh, here's an old prance. Should I be using an old prance? I will. I have like 3 or 4 prances. I use all of them. So this one is prance from Colourpop. This is my favorite liner ever. If you ever are looking for an impressive, great liner, the new formula is great, the old formula was great, they're all great. It is just a great light blue liner. It works with blue looks, purple looks, pink looks, neutral looks. It's just an amazing eyeliner. I definitely recommend it. Okay, let me see if I can find... Oh, I actually have Paisley Hoot here in front of me, and I'm gonna do just a little bit of the matte white from this one. Just very little. I'm using a pencil brush, and I'm just doing a little bit of shag rug. It's very, very pigmented, so I'm just doing a little bit dot, and again, I'm just blending it into the light blue to get a little bit of brightness. Depending on your skin tone, of course, this color will appear, I mean the light blue from the Bella Beauté bar palette, it's gonna appear lighter and darker on your skin tone. On my skin tone, it was definitely not light enough to be a highlight, but if you have tan deep skin tone, I'm sure it will be. But I think just adding a little bit, trying to show you some tips and tricks on how you can do. But that looks incredible. So this is basically the finished look. I think it looks beautiful. Let me put a little bit of mascara and lashes on, and we can see the first look. I love blue eyeshadow, and I love a blue smoky look, and I think that this looks incredible. Even though I did have some small bumps in the road, I still think this looks absolutely incredible. Loving that little lavender shift. It's giving the extra pop that like really brings your blue smoky look to the next level. I'm really impressed with this. I think it is beautiful, very, very gorgeous, and I would love to hear what you think about it as well. This was the first look. Oh, and I did use the Cinch Beauty Stealth Wild lashes. Cinch Beauty, like I said, is my own brand. I always have it linked down below, but very, very excited about this. And I'm gonna do a second look, and I might do a halo eye, or maybe I'll do a wing liner. Maybe I'll do both. I don't know, but I'm excited to try something else, and we'll definitely play with those other bright colors. Very soon in, it is time for the second look, and I have a little bit changed my mind. This is the day after, and I kind of want to do, there's a little shimmer in there, I kind of want to do, it's almost like a neon peach. So I'm going to do a full just matte eye with that, and then I'm going to layer some of, I think this one. So the thing about these like shimmers that have like multiple colors in them is that they're very versatile. Like you're able to do like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, or mix them together. With this one, I just want to have the one in the middle, and it is a little bit slim. So we'll see if I'm able. But I just want to do something very simple, and then I'm gonna do, let's see if I can find one, hold. I want to do a liner, and now I'm like, do I want to do brown? I might do brown and just, I have a feeling. Okay, this one is called, I am so sorry, but that small a font, white on light blue, in cursive, I can't read it. I'm sure the name is great. I can't read it. So I'm just gonna go in with this color. Okay, it is pretty light on the eyes. And yeah, this is why I said I don't think I'm gonna be working with any of the others, because I think the other purple is lighter too. And I think that this is what the palette, okay, why did I choose to do this look instead? It is because I think that this is the kind of looks that the palette is meant to do. lighter matte looks with a sparkle to be like the star of this show. Because I like to try and like, you know, follow the vision of the creator of the palette, which is Bella Beauté bar. And I mean, they didn't put in any matte, like darker gradient colors to match these because they didn't think that that was part of the color story. So like, I want to follow the vision. So that's why I'm like, I'm going to show you something super summery, super quick and easy. You can see I think I'm not even cutting in this, right? I'm just showing you live. And I'm using, this is the EO8, right? Yeah, this is the EO8 from Cinch, which is my own brand. And you can see I'm just patting it on, and then I'm doing just small dragging and dotting on the edge. This works on lighter colors to just diffuse the edge a bit, because now, as you can see, there's like literally no other blending needed. And this is again how I like don't get a lot of fallout and get like really vibrant colors. It is the pressing and just small motions. Don't go in with the big guns. You're not gonna like it. Okay, so that one is finished. Let's go in with a pencil brush. I was gonna say clean. We all know that's not clean. And I'm doing the exact same color under the eye. You can see I have a lot of fallout. I don't know if you can see. There is a lot of fallout on that poor cheek. Luckily, this is not a cream highlighter, even though it looks pretty wet. This is actually a powder highlighter that's giving this wet look, so I don't need to worry about it sticking. So I'm gonna do this color around and all over. Not blow it out, but like at least around. This is definitely a pastel because it sets down pretty good on the primer on top, but under my eyes, where I have like set the concealer a little bit with powder, it really doesn't want to stick as much. So keep that in mind, that this is a pretty true like neon pastel, and they are usually a little bit drier in consistency. It's just the name of the game how those shadows are. But I think that this is really cool. Okay, so this is where we go in with this shade up here. And we're gonna try and do the middle. So I am gonna do an EO1. Here is one that is far from clean. Now it is clean-ish. So I'm just gonna drag in the middle. Ooh, oh my gosh. Oh wait, is that me? Did I do that? I feel like Steve Urkel. Did I do that? You can see, like, I was trying to stripe in the middle and a chunk of the shadow came off. Oops, that might have been me. I don't know. I never really had that problem before. It might have been me being like a little, but that's what I'm saying. They're a little flaky. But you know the formula. This is not the only brand that has that. A lot of brands have that. You just have to work accordingly. And that was me being just too rough with this shadow. Oh my God, I'm trying to put it back. Ooh, send help. Okay, I'm putting this shadow. I put a lot on my brush. Ooh, I'm getting some fallout, but I really tried to pack my brush. And I'm putting a lot on this part of the lid, and then I'm just gonna try and blend it out. And when I do this, I can tell you already, because of the nature of this matte shadow, some of it is gonna come off. And when that happens, again, this is not something that is just like Bella Beauté bar. Pretty much all pastel shadows behave this way. You kind of have to go in after with the pastel and just buff on the edges a little bit. So I'm going in with this one and the shadow that is unnamed. And I am just gonna add a little bit more on the edges to make sure that it's looking okay. And flipping off some of the fallout. And I think that you can see there's a little bit of like a gold. It's like such a fun and fresh summery look. Easy peasy, and I do think that this is the kind of look that the palette is like asking for. So this is the liner by One Size. It is called Point Made in Busty. I was gonna say rusty, busty. Okay sis, busty brown. And I'm not even sure what kind of liner I want to do. I say as I'm just starting. which is very me, but I think I'm gonna do a little bit of a wing here. And I have a hood, so I usually start my wing further down and connect with the underside to not go through the hood. Just a tip that I've learned by being older is to like go a little further down and then go up. It will still look good and you will avoid the whole fold thing. So I'm doing a little bit in the inner corner too. I will say this is a felt tip liner, and even though it is thin, it's not as good as a brush tip would be, so don't love that. But I think that, I mean, that's looking pretty good, right? And I put on a little bit of white eyeliner, but I feel like this is giving like a summery, juicy cat eye look. I really love how this is looking, and I think it goes great with the cheeks and the lips. I'm wearing one of the new ColourPop ones. I did lip swatches of all of these new ones. They're live both on Instagram and here on YouTube, and this one is the lightest one in Lavender Lemonade. It's like a little bit of the cool toned, slightly lavender pink. Okay, I decided to slick back my hair because my hair is a mess right now, and I'm actually going to the hairdresser. Well, as you're seeing this, I've already been there, but I need help. It needs something. It needs a lot. You know, it's not something, it needs everything. So this is what we're doing, but I love a little bit of tan with this vibrant peach, and I decided to match it with this top as well. And what I will say about this palette, I really enjoy both of the looks that I've done with this palette, but is this my favorite color story from the brand? Probably not. This palette is more for you who are, like I said, more of a matte and then a shimmer, and there's a bunch of shimmers to choose from. There are like combinations that can be had with these like split pans that I'm sure that you're gonna enjoy. If you are more of a matte person like me, I'm a matte girly, mattes will always get me, and I do always love the Bella Beauté bar quality. This blue here wasn't my favorite, but other than that, I didn't really have any problems with the matte. This behaves like a normal like neon pastel would. I'm not surprised by how it behaves. Really did enjoy the blue. I'm just saying, if you're a matte girly like me, this might not be the palette for you either, because again, these mattes together don't bring me a lot of inspiration. I really did enjoy how these shimmers look, and I like how this shimmer looks on the eyes is incredible. This is for you who loves an easy, breezy, one matte, one shimmer on the lid. You love mixing up your shimmers, doing different combinations. You love the options of being able to do a part of the split pan or all of them, and you just are looking for some bright, fun, pastel-y colors for maybe, I don't want to say like, oh, for summer, because I think that these kind of colors work at all times. I always love a pink and a, not that this is that much pink, but I always love like a pink and a blue combo. Love that combo. But this is more like a peach, a little bit of like a, almost like a purpley pink with blues. So it's not the color combo, and I don't think that if you look at this color story and you usually love Bella Beauté bar and you look at this color story and you're like, that's perfect, I am sure you're gonna love this. That's all I'm saying. That was a really long and winded way of saying that, except for that one blue matte, I do think that this is the normal great Bella Beauté bar quality. I don't think that this is different from what they usually have. The shade that I wore yesterday, the blue one, actually did not crease on me. So per usual, some of the Bella Beauté bar shimmers do sometimes crease on me. Some palettes have more, some palettes have less. I don't feel like this one is that kind of formula, because I have worn this look now for, I was at the computer answering some emails, worn this look now for about 40 minutes. I wouldn't say that this is the kind of formula that's gonna crease on me either. There might be one of these in here, you never really know. But I would say if you like Bella Beauté bar and you like this color story, I'm sure you're gonna enjoy it. Really loving the smaller size. I don't think I mentioned that in the beginning, but I really love how they're branching out and doing different sizes. And I would love to see more palettes in this sizing. Would love to see there like so many things in that sizing, because this to me is more of a perfect size for me, someone like me. I love something that's between 9 and 20 shades. Somewhere there. That's my perfect ratio. I used to say that I love the quad or a 6-pan. I used to say the 6-pan was my favorite. Now I think like 9 to 20. Somewhere there is my favorite, like the perfect ratio of the amount of shades. Again, don't forget to check the description box for more info. Let me know what you think about this release. I love hearing your thoughts down below. And if you don't think the same as me, if you don't have the same preferences as me, there's nothing wrong with having different preferences. There's nothing wrong with having different opinions. You're free to let me know down below. Don't be mean though. Okay, there's no need to be fighting over makeup. I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you really soon in a new video that's also going to be an indie release, because I have more things to come and I'm very excited.